think about Afrofuturism, it's always talking about things in the future, but not things in the past. These people's bodies were so restricted that their minds must have been so robust. I imagine that their subconscious was highly activated, and I think that camera movement speaks to that. One of the things that James and I talked about was kind of removing edits. So instead of setting up a new shot, creating a new shot through camera movement.
The pace by which the camera moves can definitely sometimes feel like a dream in many ways. Sometimes dreams can be, more powerful than reality in terms of how they are experienced by the dreamer.
Because of the way we shot the show, there wasn't the opportunity to go, this moment is very grounded in reality, and this moment is, to use your term, dreamlike. James and I came at this from the same point of view, and oftentimes we would start out going, what is the most singular shot and what's the most appropriate amount of coverage that we can use to convey what this feels like? And sometimes it was just the wide. I mean, the first scene that anyone has whipped in the show, it's just the wide. We start in the wide, and then organically, just in the moment, we began to move the camera off that scene because I was like, okay, I think I've seen enough. They can't look away. And so now, as opposed to looking at this thing, now let's go to them. And let's experience them experiencing this trauma so we can see how the ripple effects, nobody watching is actually being physically harmed, and yet the harm is just as great. But James, I don't think we intellectualize this has to be grounded and this has to be spiritual or dreamlike.
No, I think it's probably just a very internal gauge that we're always in touch with as we're witnessing, like blocking a scene, for example, or the first establishing shot in a scene. I think we all have, as filmmakers inside of us, some internal mechanism that goes, I've had enough of this, let's move on.